Good afternoon. Almost afternoon. I'm going to be streaming here for the next 10 minutes, give you a full weather update. And let's see. We're going to start out, kind of look at current conditions, look at Temple, look at Killeen, then we'll talk about today. By the way, if you haven't seen me on air yet, I did the morning show last week, Texas Today, and I'm back on the 5 p.m. today. This is Whitney. I'm going to do one more thing and I'll step onto the wall here. But thank you for tuning in 6 Plus as well as Facebook. If you're on Facebook and can leave a comment, I will check that here right after I get off of the stream. But again, just going to do a weather update for the week. I'll cover the 4th of July too, so you know what to expect. All right. So good morning. It will be afternoon in 7 minutes. I'm going to do, again, if you're just tuning in, trying to allow a few time for a few people to join, but we're going to just take a look at current conditions. We'll go over what the weather's going to do essentially the rest of this week. Looking out over Killeen, you can see the wind is up this morning in comparison to what we've been seeing the past week or so. Today is our breeziest day. We took out a southeasterly component and brought in winds out of the south and southwest. Now, that still does allow for humidity, but it isn't as high as last week when we have southeasterly winds. It really brings in that Gulf moisture. So thankful that humidity is slightly lower at about 60%. We were running like 90 to 99% all of last work week. So thankful for that. It helps with the feels like temperatures, which temperatures are already going to be higher this week than they were last week. Winds are out of the south at about 15 right now, 87 degrees, feeling like 93. Likely going to be feeling like around 100 degrees this afternoon. So temperatures are going to be really high, not just today, but the whole work week, including the 4th of July. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. I think this started probably 3 or 4 minutes ago. I'm going to go all the way through noon. Take you through the whole week of the 4th of July weather-wise. 98 is what it feels like in Waco already early today. It's not even noon yet, feeling like between 95 and 100 degrees. So I think we likely will have feels like temperatures. I will be on air, by the way. I am back from maternity leave and going to be on the 5 p.m. daily, Monday to Friday. So you'll see me this afternoon. And likely this map by then is, we're going to see a lot of 102s, 103s, I think, by then, because we're still going to be heating up for another 4 hours or so today. Thunderstorms up to our north, out in the Panhandle. They oftentimes see that this time of year, and down on the coast. But here in central Texas, other than a few upper level clouds sneaking in from the hill country, we are dry. Drier than what we've been seeing. Just touching on the situation down on the coast, anticipating from basically Brownsville all the way up to the southwest of Houston. There's an ongoing system that I started paying attention to over the weekend. They're likely going to see flooding. You'll hear about it over the next 48, 72 hours or so, but getting absolutely drenched. So if you have plans to go to the coast for the 4th of July, you want to pay attention to this. A lot of it is happening today, will be the next 48, 72 hours. We still have another 4 days before the 4th, but if you are headed there early, again, Corpus, Port A, all the way down to South Padre, they are getting absolutely drenched, unfortunately. Of course, it happens on the holiday week, right? Heat index values here at home, yeah, I think this may even be underestimating it because I just took a look at current heat index values. That's the feels like temperature, and we're already creeping up above 95. So I think there is definitely going to be a lot of 100 to 103s into this afternoon. It's hot. It's humid, but not as humid as last week, so thankful for that. A little bit of a breeze, which we're thankful for when that happens this time of year. Winds up to 15 out of the south today. Let's look at potential rain over the next few days. It's slim, you guys. It's not like last work week. Now we do have a couple of chances, but again, it's not going to be widespread. I'm going to move out of the way because today's chance is primarily for the Brazos Valley, I-45, not 35 corridor. Brief heavy downpours and isolated storm or two are going to be possible. Honestly, it may completely stay out of our viewing area. It may stay east of I-45, which our viewership basically ends here where I'm putting my finger around I-45, and then it goes into East Texas. So we'll wait it out and see for today. But all of us are going to be around 95, 97 degrees this afternoon, feeling like 100 degrees. Winds out of the south, breezy at times. Weak front moves through late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Can't rule out, along with frontal boundary when we have moisture in place, to see an isolated storm or two. That likelihood is pretty low, though, about 10%. We roll into tomorrow afternoon. We are going to be sitting right about 97 degrees for high temperatures. Winds will be variable, probably gusty at times. And we're going to have another shot, 10% at most, for a stray shower or two. For the most part, staying dry. You can see as we roll on into tomorrow night, Wednesday. Wednesday is probably our best shot for rain this week at about 10, 20% at most. We'll see if this verifies or not. This particular model usually performs pretty well a couple of days out, but it's a wait it out and see on this one if we're going to see anything or not. National Weather Service, I was looking at what they had to say about it, and they put it slim to none. But this model, again, typically performs pretty well, so I'm going to put 10, 20% for an isolated storm on Wednesday afternoon. As we creep up closer to it, we'll have a better idea of if that verifies or not, but definitely favoring west for Tuesday, Wednesday versus the rest of the viewing area. They've completely missed out, a lot of them, over the past week on any rain, so I know they'll be glad if that verifies. Thursday, we're completely drying out from Thursday through the weekend. It is going to get very, very hot, close to 100 degrees hot. We're going to wake up in the middle to upper 70s daily. 4th of July is Friday. Looking to be hot, no surprise there. Looking like we're going to be in the 90s, and I think this is underestimating it a little bit. I think we're probably more like mid to upper 90s, but yeah, it's going to get very hot. It is going to be very dry. If you're going to Belton or any of the parades like I am that morning, they a couple of years ago, it used to always start at 9 or 10, and they bumped it to 8 or 9. They bumped it back an hour, which I think is a good thing. It is already going to be probably upper 80s by the end of the mid-morning parades on the 4th. I'll get out of the way and show you. Yeah, so we're going to be in the 90s pretty quickly. I would say by probably 1, 2 o'clock on the 4th of July. It is not going to rain that day. Mostly sunny skies. Probably feeling like 100 degrees by noon. That whole afternoon and even early evening with the sun going down so late. Yeah, it's going to be hot the entire next 7 days, but very typical of summer, right? Putting it 10% today, and my system was acting odd tomorrow and Wednesday too. 10, 20% at most for an isolated stray storm or two, but it is not going to be very much if we see anything on radar. Very dry extended day forecast, 70s to 90s daily. Looking like our hottest days are going to be this upcoming weekend. We could start to actually see some triple digits, not just heat index values, but actual temperatures. So pretty quiet 7-day forecast, and extremely typical, I would say, for this time of year. First day of July is tomorrow, by the way. And you guys have a good week. By the way, I will step back on and just tell you briefly before I sign off. I will be doing these midday updates every single work week day, so look forward to giving you this. You can get on 6 Plus or Facebook, and I'll push this out daily, give you an update on the week's forecast, and maybe helpful for people that have lunch plans or just weren't able to tune in the morning or evening. So I will be doing these. You can also catch me at 5 p.m. And you guys have a good last day of June.